Welcome, friends. I just wanted to make this video. I was kind of just working on some conquests, working on some feats, and, just thinking about things, and I wanted to talk about this a bit. So, I've had a lot of questions lately about this. When are there going to be more Lightspeed bundles? And, what are they going to be? Obviously, us streamers, we don't really have access to Capital Games Mind. I wish we did. Um, Everyone's speculating this, that, or the other thing. And honestly, I think that it's possible to get kind of a lot in the game, honestly. But I think Capital Games is catching on, hence the reason that, it's been a full month with no, leaks, no data mines. There's not been any, excuse me. There hasn't really been anything going on lately. And I think there's kind of a reason for that. I think CG's kind of catching on to this toxic environment that they've kind of made. And by toxic environment, I'm not saying that, there's actual, oh yeah, it's like Call of Duty, No, I'm saying that we've kind of gotten this toxic environment where I have people who I've done roster reviews for who are like, I'm not going to farm characters. Because I don't want to waste my time, right? And that's not good. That's really not good for the health of the game. And so I think CG's kind of catching on and is like, oh, we need to stop making so many times in a row. And, it's 100% fair, It's just something that's not sustainable because eventually you'll hit that point where, people won't trust at all that they aren't going to waste their time farming something. And so I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of Lightspeed bundles in the near future. Or rather, let me change how I say that. I don't think that there's going to be a lot of new Lightspeed bundles in the near future. To do so would continue this kind of toxic feeling. So I think if we're going to get Lightspeed bundles, there might be one more round as of right now. I think in a couple years we'll get more, but as of right now, I think we're only going to get a couple. Because we look at the stuff that they have given us. So they gave us First Order. You look at First Order, there's not really much here to actually use. Like, a Phasma team is, sure, it's great in Territory Wars. It's supremely okay in Grand Arena. You look at Arnold, he doesn't use it on his main account whatsoever. He doesn't use almost any of the First Order on his main account. You look at Resistance, and without Zori, this Resistance is really just mid. Like, there's nothing here that anyone's going to actually use. You take a look at kind of what they gave us. They gave us a Star Killer bundle. All of Star Killer's characters are all different factions, so they don't actually help anything except if you already have the teams there. And so they've done a really good job of kind of balancing what you get, giving you a Rebel bundle that gives you some of the worst stuff for JML, and so it's not really that helpful for JML. It doesn't get you closer to Jedi Knight Luke. It doesn't get you closer to Jedi Master Luke really that much. If you're already started towards Jedi Master Luke, it's a huge boost like it was for me. But for most people, it's just like, okay, I have like 4 of the characters that I need for JML, and they're all the crap characters I never would have leveled, and I can't use them in a good team anywhere. And so we've gotten a couple good things, some solid bounty hunters and that kind of stuff. But overall, they've done a great job of not giving us anything like too crazy that overbalances the game any direction. And giving us Star Killer also allowed us to have a counter for the SLKRs and the raids that were about to come into the game. So they've done a really good job of balancing them. And along that same idea, I want to just take a look here with you. If we were to get, I know a lot of people have been talking about these. If we were to get a Padme one with Newt Gunray and that kind of stuff, that'd immediately give you your Trench lineup. And yes, Newt Gunray's not great, but they are trying to push Trench and do that kind of thing. And if they do anything with that this year, that immediately screws them out of trying to get people to panic farm Trench and panic farm his team. And so I could see them making a Geonosian squad for Padme and doing a Lightspeed bundle for Padme with just Geonosians, because the Relic 5 Geos aren't going to shift the meta that much. We already see Geos on defense on Territory Wars all the time, and giving you Relic 5 Geos isn't really going to change much. Yeah, it gives you Watt Ready Geos. Oh no, Wat Tambor is like 3 years old now, 4 years old, 5 years old. I don't even know how long. I'd have to look it up, but he's been around for a long time, and it's not going to be a problem to drop that, especially with the raid changes. You can get Watt Ready Geos in like 10 minutes with the raid changes. So, like, I could see that one coming. Jedi Knight Revan I could see coming. Darth Revan I would be a little confused about. But seeing either of them I think would be surprising because of the fact that Leviathan's in the game and they lead to another legendary character of Malak. So unless they're doing like a Malak bundle where they're giving you both, I couldn't see this coming because like this, I don't know, they're becoming more and more important the last year. And so to give these out would be hard sell for me. Excuse me. I once again C-3PO is the same way because, you know, Ewoks started being required for Leia. They're starting to be required for Rise of the Empire. So I couldn't see a C-3PO bundle coming. So a lot of the bundles that I feel like people are asking for, I don't think can come. Jedi Knight Luke, it's like almost all legendary characters, so you really can't give out a Jedi Knight Luke bundle. You know, Gas, you'd be giving away a fleet, and not just a fleet, a meta killer fleet now that Marauder's in the game. You'd also be giving away a Padme team, which is a meta team. You'd also be giving away a General Grievous team. I could not see this being added because this would shift the meta so hard. It would give people tons of teams, tons of fleets, and not just like okay teams and fleets, but like really good stuff. I'd love to see it, but like I feel like it would shift the balance too much, and I feel like people are going to not like it on the high end, and then on the low end people would be ecstatic, and having high end not liking it and low end loving it is not going to be good for the health of the game. Versus how the previous Lightspeed bundles are, where like high up they're like, oh, I like this, people can catch up, as well as people in the low part of the game being like, I like this, I can finally catch up. So like I don't think they can do a gas bundle. The one major bundle that I think that they could still do, like they could do an Imperial Trooper one now that they're shifting out of the meta, but like it's hard sell for me. But the one that I could definitely like 100% see right now is a Sith Eternal bundle. I can see it. Get it. Because C by himself is not amazing. You have to have Wat Tambor, obviously. But also you look at his requirements and you get Emperor Palpatine, great character. Darth Vader, great character, except he doesn't really have a home nowadays. Royal Guard, he's with Lord Vader, but you don't probably have Lord Vader. Admiral Piet, yeah, he's great. He is specifically great for, you know, for Imperial Troopers. He's great on Empire, but like you want him for Imperial Troopers. And then Director Krennic, no one cares. Sidious, no one cares. Maul, no one cares. Dooku, no one cares. Marauder, I mean, he's going to be helpful for a lot of people who haven't finished their Sith Empire, but like once again, it's not like a banger character. Imperial TIE Bomber, helpful, good. Not going to influence the meta too much. Anakin, cool, I have an Anakin now. Thrawn, Moff Tarkin, Veers, Stark, like all of these characters are just very so-so. Like they can fit in teams, but like none of these requirements are really going to do much. And so like honestly, I could see them dropping one of these easy. Just drop just like how they did for Rey, just how they did for SLKR. I don't think this would shift the meta that much. Especially because Sith Eternal needs so much help in general. The one thing that I couldn't see with this is that Bane is coming out, and so they might not want to do this until after Bane has circulated out of Conquest. But I definitely could see them doing this, just to give them some more revenue. Because it would fit in the game, it wouldn't shift the meta too much. I could definitely see it coming. But you look at any of these other Galactic Legends, and they're either new, or they have so many things that would shift the meta, because you'd give people Bad Batch, which means they'd have a Marauder immediately. You give them, you know, the stuff to get gas, which we already talked about. There's so much in these characters that, like, would shift the meta hard. And so, I don't know. I can't see much more happening in the next a couple of months, besides, you know, maybe a Geonosian one, maybe a Sith Eternal one. But then after that, I think it's going to be a break, and I think we're just going to recycle each Lightspeed bundle and just keep recycling them, which I'm fine with. Honestly, I want them to come back. Not because that I need them at all. I mean, I got all the ones that I wanted. But I want this to be a constant thing. I don't want people to be just screwed out of not being able to do anything in the game. New players should be able to get in and then be able to spend a little money and have a basis of a roster. Because honestly, Arnold's talked about it, a lot of the streamers have talked about it, the Hyperdrive bundle is just not doing it nowadays. It's just, you get so little for how far ahead everyone else is versus how far ahead you are. Like, you're literally, you know, top players are way up here where you can't even see, and then you're way down here where you can't even see. Like, there's such a disparaging amount of space between the Hyperdrive bundle and the top end of the game. And so this was great to bring you up earlier in the game, but now that people are so far up high here, we need something to push us up a little bit farther at the beginning, because this beginning is painful. And so having the Lightspeed bundles be there, I think, are fantastic. Because, you know, it allows people who maybe just have like a gift card from Christmas be able to get a jump start in the game and start being able to actually, you know, be competitive in Grand Arena. I'm not saying you can't be competitive in Grand Arena when you hit 85, but you need a very efficient roster if you're playing free to play. You need to be following a farming plan, and even then it's going to struggle for the first couple of months of being level 85. You saw it with Arnold's account. He would take like 10 seconds on his free-to-play account each time in his streams. But overall, that would be what I could see coming from Lightspeed bundles. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Love to hear kind of what you guys think is possible without breaking the game, because I think that's the big consideration that we need to take into account, is if Capital Games is willing to break their own game, because the revenue they made from Lightspeed bundles, yeah, it almost, you know, it jumped their revenue by like 30% for the month that they dropped the first set. That's great. That's an awesome jump. But jumping your revenue by 30% for a month versus destroying your entire game is a balancing act that they have to make. And if they don't, they're going to destroy themselves. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that they could add an Afro bundle and it wouldn't break the game? You know, do you think that they could add a gas one and it wouldn't harm the health of the game? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. If you like this kind of content, please do subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.